Good afternoon. Hope y'all are having a fine Easter. The weather's great outside. There's a couple issues I wanted to talk to everybody in Argyle about that have been a point of contention over the last several weeks and months, and I want to try to clear some of this up. The first part is our agricultural land use and the concerns that many citizens may feel or have been told they need to feel that they may be losing their ag use exemptions or in danger of it, that the council is attacking their ag use. And that is not true, not at all. What this stemmed from, in the last several years, we've had multiple applications come in for SUPs, which are special use permits, to put different businesses in areas of town that were in 1 or 2 to 5 acre neighborhoods. And individuals wanted to put like a daycare with some businesses on top of it, or like a 2-story building on the property right next to another home in a neighborhood, or they wanted to put in a special events venue or wedding venue, it may be called, and have anywhere up to 300 people coming to their home on a regular basis through the neighborhoods to come to these events. And and these were in our land use charts at the time, and then those were things that we needed to look at. So, and this did spawn, we got a lot of outcry from the citizens. A lot of people living in those areas did not want these, so we listened to that. And we did have unanimous votes against these occupancies and these SUPs coming in. Of the council, of the P&Z and council, voted against all this unanimously, all members. Now, the land use charts, if you're not familiar with them, which most people aren't, are huge. They're page after page after page. They deal with all the different zonings, and they have a plethora of different uses of the verbiage in them. So we started trying to see what we could combine, what we could take out, what we could just mix together. Then we got to agricultural uses. That's where we bogged down. That's where things got really muddy. And we had, thankfully, we had a council member bring up a lot of questions about it. We started looking at it. We unanimously decided, we need to take some more time and look at this. We don't need to arbitrarily pass anything. We need to spend the time looking through this. And then we started consulting with our town attorney, with town staff. And the questions came up was, can we make any changes, and should we even make any changes? Those were huge questions. Or do we just leave things alone? But those have been questions that we've been looking at and talking about all this time. Since council only meets once a month, it's a slow process. But in the middle of these meetings, several people have taken this and run with it to say that we are attacking your land use. We are attacking the agricultural, your ag exemptions, which has never been our intention whatsoever. It was more so to protect the citizens of Argyle from undesirable uses coming in, somebody coming in and putting in something undesirable next to your place and making your land values go down. We are trying to protect the land and the values and the citizens of Argyle by doing this. And really all we're doing is taking a comprehensive look. All of this was done to close holes. That's what it was done to do, just to close holes in our land use charts and to make sure that there were no questions whatsoever. Sometimes though, when you pass an ordinance or you start drafting an ordinance or you start looking at it, you come up with unintended consequences. And that's what we were looking at. What could those unintended consequences be if we did this? And that's what we found out. But all the whole time we were just trying to prevent those undesirable uses throughout the town to everybody else's. And this is a process that if we had not have done this and taken the time, taken the months to go over this, we would not have been able to look at this from all sides and to be able to evaluate it. And it's with the public outcry that we have had and the feedback that we've gotten, we're going to address this even further this Tuesday, April 23rd at the council meeting, and try to clear some of these up. Second, the elections. Wow. We are in election season, and it's been 2 years since I was elected as mayor. I took that as I was asked to run as mayor 2 years ago. It was not something I was seeking. It was just something that kind of happened. I agreed to it, and I can tell you, I told my wife, I said, I'll do it, but I'll do it one way. I'll go hard or go home. I'm either going to do it or I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to halfway give the citizens just part of a job. And I would like to think I've done a very good job at that, as well as the other council members, Todd Mankin and Ronald Schmidt, that ran with me. We have done a lot in the last 2 years, worked very hard. In fact, one of the longer standing members of the council, Marla Hawksworth, Mayor Pro Tem, stated that she's never worked as hard on any council she's ever been on throughout her tenure in the council. And so we have put a lot of work and a lot of effort in this. And the only thing we said, we did not get personal. We did not get angry. We did not say anything vilifying the other councils that was sitting, the people on the council that were sitting at the time. The only thing we did say is that we just did not like the way the direction the council was going at the time. And that was true. A lot of people were that way. They did not like the direction the council was going. And that was it. But we ran on transparency, integrity, and that was the center of our campaign and the time in our office. As a result of the attitude and the integrity that we have brought to this, we have had over 30 citizens apply to serve on boards, commissions, and through the P&Z, the EDC, the Tree Board, the Vision Committee, on council. We've had citizens come up, and I've asked them, why now? Why didn't y'all ask to serve before? And they said they wouldn't. Why would they want to serve before? Who would want to go through the gauntlet of what's going on right now on social media? Who would want to serve when they would have to go through everything that's going on right now on social media, the accusations, the name calling, the threats, everything that's just, social media has just blown up. We've got this new faces, and we've got new faces on the EDC board. We've got new faces on P&Z. We've got fresh ideas, new energy. And we have people that, we had a lot of people that had served 10, 15 or longer years, and that is great. But we felt as a whole, council as a whole, not just 2 or 3 people, council as a whole felt it was time. Let's give them a break. Let's get some new energy in there. But social media has blown up. Nextdoor, Facebook. People have attacks on council, P&Z members, their families, their friends. It has just gotten so ugly. And it's just amazing that Argyle has fractured this way. And this is all brought to you, all this ugliness, honestly, is brought to you by past members and past leaders of the town. Just as recently as last night, there was a post put out by an ex-council member, Joey Hasty, that called Ron Schmidt liar, called him a thief, called him several other names. I mean, almost like junior high bullying, schoolyard type activity. And that's just not called for. We're adults, folks. We're supposed to be leaders of our community. This is not it. Even Shane Campbell got on that same feed, and Shane Campbell is one of the people running for, he's one of the people running for the council, and said that I'm running unopposed and there should be a write-in candidate, because now, since I'm running unopposed for mayor, there should be a write-in. Well, that ship has sailed. They should have done that before if they wanted to run someone against me. But where is this villainizing come from? Why are they so angry? Why do they it's almost getting evil the way they're talking about people. In 2017, the call to reduce the influence of individuals on the council and the boards was huge by the citizens. They wanted us to get in and for the whole overall influence by people that had special interest, by builders, mortgage brokers, as well as the amount of intertwined relationships with mortgage brokers, builders, developers in the council and on the P&Z board, so that there would be more honesty and integrity in what was going on in the town of Argyle. That's what we were asked to do. That's what was brought to us by the citizens, and that's what we brought into the office when we were elected. And that was at the request of the citizens and at the request of their votes. They voted us in, they requested we come in and do this, and that's what we did. We are following our citizens and what they want us to do. And now we see how all these people are connected. Our former mayor, Peggy Kruger, when that post came out from Joey Hasty, that was just so vile and toxic, she jumped right in on the bandwagon and said, yay, that's right. Well, she was one of the problems that people had with the council before we ran, in the fact that she was a mortgage broker, and they felt that was a conflict of interest. That's one of the things the citizens brought to us. So she was a mortgage broker, still is, tied to several different builders as partners and intertwined. But with that, she was our mayor. And then there was Jay Haynes, who's on our board of, or who was our on the former council member. But he was also JPS medical director. He's a doctor. He was on the medical director at JPS. We also have a former consultant that has worked with Argyle for many, many years, and also was a former interim town manager, Trent Petty, who is also on the board of managers of JPS Hospital. Well, now that leads us to one of our current candidates, Dr. Tret Schrader, who is a JPS physician and the medical staff president. So we've got connections there. And then when we move on to builders and developers in our town, we've got Terramana, Brett Pedigo of Terramana. He's a developer. He's worked with Trent Petty on many projects. Trent Petty was the consultant that pushed Waterbrook. But Waterbrook is really not going to gain us much of anything as far as taxes go, in commercial sales tax for the next 30 years. We've also got another former P&Z member, Jason Lillard, who has jumped out of there and being very vile in comments that he's made. He's a president of Ridgemont Construction, another developer, another builder. Current council member that has a lot of praise and accolades from all of these builders in her professional life, and that's Marla Hawksworth. A lot of these builders and developers use her, and she's in partner with some of, I won't say partner, but she works with these developers. And then we have Eric Fields, former council member. He's on the bandwagon, former P&Z member, and former P&Z member Wayne Holt, who's also hosting some of these web pages and some of this toxic language that's being out there. And Shane Campbell. Shane Campbell's been out. He's running his campaign. He's never really said what he does. He's a mortgage broker with Supreme Lending, and he is tied to several different builders with real estate ties. So how does all this tie together? Money, money, money. It's really sad. And I know that's not the end of it. That's just the beginning. That's just the tip of the spear on all that. You know, this election comes down to a huge fracture in Argyle right now. And it's a split between, in my opinion, two main groups. It is the groups that are emotionally invested in Argyle. They love Argyle, they love the schools, they love the charm, they love everything about Argyle. And then there's those that are financially invested. We've got the emotionally invested and the financially invested. The financially invested, they're here to make money. That's what they want. They may live here, but they're here to make money. Let's not let them sell us out. We need to make sure that we keep the people in office that are here for the emotional stability of Argyle and why we are all living here ourselves. I hope y'all have a wonderful Easter and have a good day. Thank you very much.